Alright, let's skip ahead here. I think I do enjoy doing the player perspective. I like being able to analyze what Ben's doing, even though I'm not necessarily the best at that. I'm not even a good player, but it's fun. Oh, Ben's got a cool Death Prophet set here. This isn't quite the headpiece that I have. I forget which one I have. It's a little more Victorian looking. But he does have different exorcism ghosts. He does have the Death Prophet Immortal, which I do like. Showing off those legs there. And the Corset of the Mortal Coil, which I do like. So that's a very cool set. I like the ones that are a little bit more Victorian looking on Death Prophet instead of weird dead lady or whatever. Okay, so Ben, I think he's going to go mid here, I would think. Goes Wand first. Not sure what the reasoning behind that is. Actually, if he's up against Storm Spirit, that might not be a bad idea. If he's going to be zipping around a lot, that might be nice. Build up those charges. Maybe it's because he assumes he's not going to be... Well, he's not going to be able to get a bottle if he rushes the item of the week. But now, well, now that we've changed our rules, we've officially changed our rules, he will be able to do that. He just has to build the item of the week on the hero of the week. But yeah, I don't think there's any one hero that has a clear advantage here in this lane. He is laning against Storm Spirit. Yeah, the last thing he would want is an OD, Outworld Devourer. That's like a hard counter to other intellect heroes. So I think maybe Storm Spirit would have better rune control. But I suspect that he's not really going to know what he's doing, given that he's just kind of auto-attacking creeps here. So I don't think he'll be super on top of it with runes. So I think Ben might have an easy lane here. I also think Death Prophet's going to get a nerf in the next coming balance patch. I'm not sure if they'll just nerf her mana pool, which I don't think that's something you need to worry about. I don't know. I think probably a smart change would be to change her exorcism to affect buildings with Ag Scepter, you know, kind of like how it is with Razor. Kind of nerf some of those heavy push strategies a little bit. I mean, don't get me wrong, it's nice right now, but yeah, I don't know. You can't really start pushing with her a ton until like level, I don't know, level 9. Somewhere between 9, 10, and 11 is when she really starts to become a problem. Because she'll have a couple of points up in Witchcraft, which will add spirits to the Exorcism. And then when that's up, you can... I mean, every time Exorcism's on cooldown, or off cooldown, every time Exorcism is off cooldown, like, you want to be looking into pushing. Or fighting or something like that, because that thing just is so good at that stage in the game. And it's actually really... I think it's really good even up until, like... Gosh, I don't know. It's good like up through like the 50 to 60 minute mark too. Or up until that point. Towards like the late game, that's when things start to become a little scary. And Ben is just harassing the heck out of the Storm Spirit. And yeah, he's not going to be able to get a kill here, but I think in the future he will. It's not going to be too hard for him to get a kill on Storm Spirit here. And Storm Spirit is going for this rune. Let's see, does he have a bottle? He does. He has a bottle. That is not good. I wonder, did he rush it? Did he go... Okay, he's going for a Null Talisman. And he's he's buying a wand outright. Fun fact, start out with the iron branches because they're really good. He would have had a little bit of an easier time in lane if he would have had some iron branches. They're called GG branches for a reason. And Ben is a little short on mana here, and her mana regen isn't awesome inherently. It doesn't start to not be a problem until you get like Yule Scepter or heck, even Power Treads. If you can get Power Treads and put them on mana, on the intellect, you're in good shape. But usually you'll want to be getting phase boots on Death Prophet, which I totally agree with in this case, because you get the extra movement speed and that boost to help with your exorcism. And if only Ben had a Crypt Swarm right now, he would be able to farm that up real easy. But that's okay. Doing pretty good. Surprisingly enough, this Storm Spirit is out farming him, but only by a little bit. And I don't know. I feel like Ben's, if he's able to get a kill on the Storm Spirit, he'll definitely win the lane for sure. But yeah, this Storm Spirit definitely isn't decidedly winning the game. He's been having to buy a lot of... did he have to buy any regen? Or about the bottle? So... And they don't have any rune vision, so he's just kind of guessing on whether runes are there or not. And Ben also does not have any rune vision. Electric Vortex is going to be used on Ben there, as he does put down the silence, and he does walk away unscathed. Yeah, I think with Death Prophet, she offers a decent amount of sustain, I think, because I played a match with a Tusk and a Riki, or I laned against one as Death Prophet, and they just dove me all the time, and I just never died. I mean, there was a couple of close calls there, here and there, but with Death Prophet, she has decent armor, and she really starts to tank up pretty well, so I think she's really good and has a decent amount of sustain. And this Storm Spirit did rotate down to the bottom lane. Not going to find anything down there, though. And it's just a shame that nobody's putting wards up. I would think this Rubik would want to be putting wards up, but has not been. Storm Spirit is able to pick up that illusion rune, so we'll have a little bit of regen from that. Ben's going to go ahead and start building into the Yule Scepter, which is, yeah, just a fantastic item for her. My feeling on core items with heroes is that, yeah, just in general, I think a lot of times, even core items are situational, quote-unquote core items. Yule Scepter is something you'll almost always want to get on Death Prophet, I think, because it's just so useful on her. But with anything, if it makes sense to get something else, or you need another item to counter something else, go for it. Don't feel like you have to get the item to win the game or something like that, you know. So he's going to save up for the Staff of Wizardry, which I do like that. Give him some extra damage and some more mana and extra mana regen. Her intellect gain is great. 3 intellect per level. 2.2 strength gain. I don't know. I think they're undoubtedly gonna nerf Death Prophet in the next next patch. I can see them like nerfing her strength gain as well. Yeah, I don't know. I think even Death Prophet support is decent. I don't think that's too bad either. I actually kind of like it. Because all of her spells are useful, no matter what. Even without farm, her spells are really useful. Because that's where the most of her power comes from, right? Is from the Crypt Swarm and the Silence and the Exorcism. I thought for a second that Storm Spirit was going to dive in there, but he decided not to. And Ben has pulled quite far ahead in farm by about 7 creeps. So that's about 250 gold-ish. So that's a wand. Ooh, Rubik stole Anchor Smash, which is a fantastic spell. I do like Anchor Smash quite a bit. So I think we'll start to see the laning phase come to an end here soon. Ooh, Storm Spirit's almost dead there. Good lord. He's been playing it on the edge here. Ben's running out of mana. First world problems. And Storm Spirit will go for that bottle. It is a little risky. Especially without runes or without wards there. Yeah, without wards there, it'd be so easy for someone else to just kind of show up and right-click them once and die. Gotta hand it to the guy. I do think it is smart for Ben to just stay in lane and not necessarily worry about mana quite as much. He does have enough for a silence, which if he gets jumped or something like that, he'll have that available. But yeah, you don't want to miss out on some gold and XP and stuff like that. So I think staying in lane's a smart choice here. Oh, it looks like Ben is playing this with friend of the show, Eric's. I've played with Eric's before, and he's a very good player. I don't recognize anyone else from the We Like Dota guild here, though. He's playing Sven. I am not a big... Sven is very good, and he's a good hero, and I like what he has to offer, but I am not a good Sven player. And, oh no, this Storm Spirit running right into the Rubik. He's gonna jump in on Rubik. I think he will be able to get a kill on him, but I think Ben might be able to get him. Sven does teleport into the mid lane to come in for backup. And with this haste rune running out on Storm Spirit, I think... Well, he still has the ultimate and stuff, so... Yeah, I don't know. And Ben is missing out on this team fight here, but I think Nyx and Sven are able to... No! The Storm Spirit uses the ultimate and zaps away. We do see the... what is that? What is this Q called? Static Remnant. So they are going to keep chasing out the Storm Spirit, and this is about the stage in the game, or about the stage where I say, okay, let's stop chasing because we're probably going to die. Usually I've found that if you have to chase somebody for over 4 to 5 seconds, you're going to die. So just don't do it. Once you get too deep, you're just, oh boy, it's no good. Some small child is shouting outside. And yeah, this is exactly what happens here. You start to have other heroes rotate in, and you just die. Nyx Assassin is still alive though, so good for him. So Ben's going to keep farming up the mid lane. He is doing really well on farm. He is the top farmer of the entire game. And is this a support or core Wraith King? Core Wraith King, it looks like. And this Phantom Lancer is only sitting at 12 last hits. So I don't think he's going to be quite as big of an issue. Unless he's able to get like uninterrupted jungle farm or something like that. Ben's just so far ahead that he's just not going to be an issue. And I think even the Exorcism... and the Rubik did have the Ravage stolen there, so good for him. If you're a Tide Hunter, when you throw out a Ravage and you're playing against a Rubik, make sure you use like Anchor Smash almost immediately, so you don't give that up. But yeah, as I was saying, I think the Exorcism will help quite a bit against the Phantom Lancer illusions. Here's my question though, does the exorcism only do damage to those that you right click on, or does it just do, or is that just kind of your means of directing the spirits? I'm not sure how that works. And poor Sven in the mid lane here. Not sure if this is necessarily a smart idea here. Okay, he does disengage, which is wise, I think, in this case. So Ben's about okay. He does have the Yules, and that'll come out for him. So I think once we see the Yules come out, we're gonna see some stuff happen. And that's a dead Tidehunter, and yeah, these ghosts just do so much damage. Right around level 10, yeah, this is when Exorcism is just real good. So that's going to be up for about another 20 seconds, and it'd be nice if they were able to do some damage against it, but Storm Spirit zipping in like that, that's going to be a definite death. Maybe not. Morphling wave forming in here does get a kill on the Rubik and the Earthshaker are dead. Nyx Assassin going to go down thanks to the Wraith King, I think. Phantom Lancer got the last hit on that one. But that stun from Wraith King, so good. I'm surprised that went as poorly as it did. There is a lot of stun on the Radiant team, which is good. You have Sven, you have the Impale from Nyx Assassin, the Fisher from Earthshaker, and the Lift from Rubik. And there we have the Yule Scepter, which is just a great item for her, for Death Prophet. Helps out with your movement speed, and yeah, when you pop the Exorcism, you can toss yourself up in the Exorcism while the ghosts do all the damage, and you know, just do that kind of stuff. It's good for chasing. And both of these lineups are actually somewhat decent. I don't think there's anyone on the Dire side playing support. I think probably the closest thing we'd have is probably Tidehunter, maybe. Because Wraith King is not. But I guess there's nobody on Ben's side playing support either. Like, nobody's really buying wards or anything like that. Storm Spirit zipping around like crazy. Nice stun from Sven going out on Storm Spirit. Not going to be quite enough to take him down. And Storm Spirit getting a little gutsy there. The Lift was pulled out and did get the kill on Storm Spirit. So this tower's going to go down thanks to the Exorcism. And yeah, the uptime on Exorcism is just so good. I think, because let's see, it lasts for... How long does it last? Lasts 30 seconds and the cooldown is 115. So it's about 60 seconds of downtime for the Exorcism, which is pretty good. And unfortunately, there's a little bit of time being wasted on it right now. But they did get that tower kill out of it, so that's good.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
And the net worth still shows 0, so I don't know what's going on. I know in the Techies patch, they did change the gold graph, I believe, to show net worth instead of just flat gold gained. So I don't know if that has anything to do with it. Maybe it screwed up some of the replays, but we'll just assume Ben's doing the best in net worth since he has the most farm. They are ahead in farm by about 3,000 gold. Nyx Assassin did buy that Urn of Shadows, which is good. Help out with some of their sustain while they're pushing. And we have about another 30 seconds for another Exorcism. Yeah, and Ben's going to start working towards the Shiva's Guard, which I am a huge fan of Shiva's Guard. I think it's a really great item. I think on Death Prophet, yeah, I really like getting tank items after the Yules. So Heart of Tarask, Bloodstone, which isn't necessarily a tank item, but It's kind of in that category. You know, it gives you more sustain, helps with your mana issues,
Is under attack.
lowers your respawn timer, that sort of stuff. I think that's a pretty good item as well. So Heart of Tarask, Shivas, or Bloodstone I think are good. But yeah, I do like the Shivas because it does give you that nice nuke that slows, and then also the aura, which reduces attack speed. It's a minus 40 attack slow, which is really good. How big is that aura, though? That's what I want to know. Like, what's the AoE on that? Let's see here. I don't see the radius on that. Okay. But a minus 40 attack slow, or minus 40 attack speed, that's pretty good. That's almost a Hyperstone. Which a Hyperstone is 2,000 gold, I believe, something like that. So, if you think of it that way, it's pretty good. And then that's even without factoring in the freezing wave that it does, which is really good. Basically just makes it so that you can't run away, really, I think. It's nice. And Ben hasn't even died yet, but he does have 4 assists, 0 kills, but he has really been able to help do a ton of tower damage. So yeah, I think he's doing really well. Has a good amount of farm.
Dire's top tower is
And
under attack.
I would remind you, dear viewers, that towers and ancients are what win games, not kills. Kills help you get there, but it's objectives that count. Okay, so it does look like the spirits do damage
Is under attack.
to whoever's just kind of standing around there. It's not necessarily what you're right-clicking on, so I like that. I do like that ghost skin. I think it's pretty cool. I like how it's kind of greenish and has some purple notes in it. And Ben is going to go ahead and pick up the Mystic Staff, which will help with his mana pool and mana regen. While the rest of his team is going crazy. Eric's has got 7 kills and 3 deaths. He's doing pretty good. Wonder what he is building.
Dire's bottom tower
We'll
is
check
under
on him,
attack.
check in on him since he's a friend of the show. He's going Mask of Madness, which I do like, and Power Treads. Looks like he's going to be building into a BKB. Also a big fan of that. That'll help with the Tide Ravage and the Storm Spirit bullcrap. And the Wraith King stun, and the Morphling, if Morphling goes E-Blade, it'll help with that. So, yeah, I do like that. It's a nice little build. I think BKB stops E-Blade, I believe.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
So I think if the entire Radiant team is able to coordinate a little bit more, and not to say they haven't been coordinated, but if they continue to coordinate and yeah, push towers together, you know, whenever this exorcism is on cooldown, then they'll be in pretty good shape. Or if they can just push off the back of good team fights, then yeah. It'd be nice if Ben had a TP.
Radiant's
Teleport down
bottom
to the bottom tower here. And this is not going to go well for the Dire. Fighting under a tower with an exorcism popped is never a good idea. And looks like they're not going to continue to chase this out, which is probably smart.
Radiant's top tower has fallen.
Probably smart, given that it's only a Death Prophet and an Earthshaker. So it kind of stinks that he had to blow the exorcism here, but he's going to get a decent amount of farm out of it, so yeah, whatever. But that's okay. It'll be up again in another 80 seconds. Death Prophet does have good movement speed, and she can get across the map pretty quickly, but I just always think it's wise to carry 1, if not 2, TP scrolls with you. And it looks like they're trying to push this bottom tower yet again. And Sven is going to teleport down and help defend it. So I'm not sure if they're going to be able to defend this one quite as much. Oh, and a nice stun catching out two of them. Storm Spirit is going to use the Electric Vortex to bring in the Sven, and I think he is going to die from that. And this might be a first death from Ben. He does get just out of range of the Ravage. Good for him. But yeah, I think they're going to want to look into backing up here. I think they'll be able to get away, but Rubik does come in, does use the Ravage that he did steal, and that's going to be a kill on the Wraith King and a kill on the Tidehunter if they're able to catch up with him. A nice Impale right now would... There we go. He does use the Mana Burn, and Rubik does steal the Anchor Smash. So that was a very, very nice turnaround there. It was that Rubik Stolen Ravage that definitely turned that one around. So good for them. Phantom Assassin does pick up his Diffusal Blade, which is a really nice item for Phantom Assassin. I believe the way illusions work, it's only attributes that contribute to the illusion strength. So Diffusal Blade is one of the best items in the game to give his illusions some additional damage. Ben does complete his Shiva's Guard, which I do like. Gives him a lot of mana and some armor, and you know we already talked about all that. So he does go ahead and pop the Exorcism, and this tower is going to go down quite quickly. So there we go. That's another tower down. I think as long as they're able to just keep steadily pushing and taking safe farm away from Phantom Lane, so they'll be just fine. Morphling waveforming in here with the BKB. I think he's going to go down here, no problem, and he does. Ben getting the final kill there. Yeah, he came in when he waveformed in when his BKB was at like the last second of it being active, so I'm not sure if I like that. And it looks like Ben's going to go for a BKB of his own, which I think is a pretty good pickup here. I am a big fan of the BKB. Keep him from getting stunned and getting ravaged when he has that Exorcism off. So once you pop the BKB and the Exorcism, oh man, it's tough business. Tough business for the other team. And Ben hasn't even died yet. He's 1-0-7. This Rubik, though, man, good lord, this Rubik has been just going nuts and really kind of winning the game for him here. And he is going to go for the Ag Scepter, which means he'll be stealing the Ag's upgraded versions of ultimates. Death Prophet goes ahead and picks up the Aegis of the Immortal, which I do like that. I would either give it to her or Sven. Let's see how much damage Sven's doing. Okay, not doing quite as much damage, but he probably has a much higher attack speed. Death Prophet's right click does start to get kind of decent. And they do have another Exorcism ready to go. And I gotta think we'll see a team fight break out here. There we go. Exorcism pop. It's go time, baby. Rubik stole the Wraithfire Blast, so he is able to get a stun on an illusion. Good for him. But yeah, they will start to chase this out, and Phantom Lance are down to about half health. They do retreat back to the Tier 2 tower. And Sven was able to deny that mid tower, so that's a nice play. The bottom lane is pushing, though. They're going to want to start to clean this up. So all in all, that was a 2-for-0 exchange there. And yeah, they need to start worrying about pushing out some of these other lanes, or else their top and bottom lanes are going to push out.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
And again, if Ben had a TP, he'd be able to just TP right over there, defend the tower, no problem. Especially I've noticed a lot in my pub matches that nobody cares to push out the top and bottom lanes. Everyone just kind of fights in the mid lane. So you wind up having your top and bottom lanes push out quite a bit. Or I guess push in. You lose towers due to not clearing creeps in the top and bottom lanes. And there's a lot of missed farming opportunities out of that, I think. But that's okay. You know, we all have stuff to work on, myself included. Oh, he just missed that range creep. And yet again, there's a fight breaking out in the mid lane. It'd be nice if Ben had a TP to go to the mid lane to get down there. But he does have a... He's going to have a... oh, he does silence him before he does get off that Wraithfire Blast, so that was a nice little play there. He does have an Exorcism ready to go. I think he's probably going to want to go ahead and pop it here, which he does. Which is good, because if Wraith King has Resurrection, which it looks like he does, yeah, that's probably going to be two Wraith King deaths, because that Exorcism just lasts for such a long time. So they are going to go ahead and continue to chase this out. I think they figured out that that's the actual real Phantom Lancer. Storm Spirit sacrificing himself for the greater good. Sven's Cleave is in full effect here, cleaning creep waves like crazy. And I think this is going to be a tier 2 tower. Even though the Exorcism isn't up, they have no problem taking that down. And a Ravage, basically all that Tidehunter accomplished there was giving away a Ravage, so that was a nice little play there, I guess, question mark. And this is going to be a dead Storm Spirit. What the heck is going on? I'm not really sure what the point in diving like that is. I know I used to do that, thinking that I was helping or being effective or something like that, but actually not really accomplishing much of anything. Rubik got a kill on the Wraith King with the Adaptive Strike. Not sure how the Adaptive Strike works when you are Rubik. I think that would be the stun, right? Because he has more strength than agility, so when you have more strength than agility, it does a stun instead of the damage, so I think that's probably kind of nice. It does a little bit of a little damage and a stun, I think is how that works. And another Exorcism from Death Prophet, and Storm Spirit uses the Electric Vortex to just kind of pull Death Prophet closer to him when she has an Exorcism going, which is not smart. That's a good way to die. So we're going to see the tier 4s start to go down here. And a nice Wraithfire Blast on the Sven, and he is going to take enough tower damage to go down. And Ben's still hanging out here, chewing them all away with Rubik. So I do think it is a good idea to leave once the Exorcism has finished, which it has. And yeah. Death Prophet 3-0 and 14. Man, Rubik has only had one death. This Rubik player is just pro. I think it's more so been because the Tidehunter's just been giving away these Ravages. Like, we've seen like 3 or 4 stolen Ravages that have just been on point. So Ben's BKB is going to be on the way out towards him. And it does look like Ben's going to be working towards a Sheep Stick, which I do like. I think you could almost go Sheep Stick instead of Shiva's if you need it. It's more of a preference thing or situational based thing. You know, if you're thinking you need more armor and a nice disable, I think the Shiva's is really good. But the Sheep Stick is really good as well if there's somebody on the other team that you just need to lock down no matter what. You know, like a nice carry or something like that. Not going to be super helpful with the Phantom Lancer due to all the illusions, but you could use that on, you know, let's say for instance you want to just focus down Tidehunter. If Tidehunter had actually been getting off good Ravages, you might want to lock him down, or lock down like one of their right-click carries or something like that. Yeah, it just comes down to what you want to do. And that's Sven's stun getting catching two of them there, and they do pop the exorcism and go in yet again. And the thing about popping the Ravage after on off is, the Ravage is good. You know, it does stun, you know, practically the whole team if you get a good one off. But even while the exorcism is off, you're still taking damage from it. And it doesn't go through BKB, or excuse me, it does go through BKB. So, yeah, I don't know. It's just so good. It's almost like you just have to start a fight, wait for Death Prophet to use Exorcism, wait for it to wear off, try and disengage through that. Or just focus her down or something like that, and then go for the Ravage. I'm not sure what the general strategy is there. She's just tough to deal with when she gets a ton of XP like this. Oh, and the poor courier went down. There we go, Shiva's Guard catching out three of them. What's the score of this Storm Spirit? 4, 6, and 10. Yeah, that's not bad. It's not great. He hasn't been playing as nearly as horrible as I thought he would be. Ben does pop the BKB, but I think everything that he's faced against here is physical damage. Yeah. And that was a 612 gold swing that went to... Is that Storm Spirit who got the kill there? Yeah. That was a nice little kill for him. And they lost their courier in the process, so a nice nice classic overextension there with a top lane pushing, which is not good. So I don't think they'll lose the game for that by any means. But it is worth noting that that top lane is pushing pretty hard. Sven's gonna go in here, clean it up, no problem. It is really fun cleaning up creeps with Sven. It just takes like 3 hits and they're gone. Sven is, I do like Sven against Phantom Lancer. Really cleans up those illusions really well, especially with the Mask of Madness. So I assume Ben's tending to his text messages. Okay, there we go. So yeah, I don't know. Do you guys like watching in Ben's perspective? I don't know. Or does it make more sense to just do normal free camera? On my end, I like doing the player perspective because I don't have to do anything, which is nice. I lazily do enjoy that. And we do see the Mystic Staff getting picked up here, plus 25 intelligence. I think the ultimate orb is a little more efficient though, because you get 30 attribute points minus 25. But if you want to put them all into your intellect, you know, it's plus 25 minus plus 10 to all attributes, so it just depends what you want to do there. Though the Mystic Staff is 700 gold more. Or is it 600? 600, excuse me, 600 gold more.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
Oh, there we go. Okay, so the exorcism does get popped, and I think we will see... Yeah, I love that move. It's such a good move. The Yules into exorcism. Just look how much damage everyone's taking here. Ben is going to have to get out of here, though. It is a 3v1 type situation. So yeah, I'm not sure why they were necessarily that far forward with only an Earthshaker and a Death Prophet, but... You know, that's none of my business. I'd still like to see Ben buying a TP scroll.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
I'm sending Ben a text message to let him know that he needs to buy more TP scrolls. I feel like it's valid for me to critique him like this after all the grief he gives me on the podcast, right? I think that's fine. I noticed Ben is following the Torta Dellini. Oh, and that Sven stun caught out 3 of them. Look at his... Oh my gosh, look at his... He just got a triple kill just from, like, 4 right clicks. And he does overstay his welcome, but good lord. That was great. But yeah, he is following the Torta Dellini hero guides, the in-game hero guides. Which, those are the ones that I use if I tend to follow a guide. I do like those. It is interesting for Mr. Torta Dellini because I think a lot of people follow his guides, and I gotta think the guy's pretty much been crafting like this meta of pub play, I think. I do know that he, because I saw his post about these new guides for 6.81 on Reddit, and it seems like he did do a lot of theory crafting with people on the Liquid Dota forums. So I think they're good guides. But it is just interesting that one guy pretty much has been controlling all pub play meta, you know? It is interesting to think about. And this top lane is going to start pushing out again, so I'm going to go ahead and get somebody up there to farm out some creeps. Oh, the Morphling with the jukes. Oh, nice. And yes, the Shiva's Guard does catch him out, but just one more right click would have done it, and I don't think they're going to be able to take the Morphling down. So the Storm Spirit zaps in, Ben activates the BKB and says, here's some ghosts. Doing a ton of damage to the Wraith King. The Ravage catches out 3, but it just doesn't matter. Yeah, Rubik and Death Prophet are going to have to back up here. They did commit for 5 heroes to that, and they weren't able to take down Death Prophet and Rubik, so I think it's safe to say they're doing okay. Quick, somebody TP top and clear that creep wave. Oh wait.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
Nobody has TP. Okay, Earthshaker has one. That's good. Okay, and Sven has one too, but his is on cooldown.
Top tower has fallen.
I kind of think Earthshaker should have TP'd up there and cleared out those creeps. But, you know, whatever. That's fine. You do what you gotta do. Sven is just going nuts with this cleave. Look at this. There was a double kill. Almost took down the... was it Storm Spirit? Storm Spirit was almost dead. Sitting on the Daedalus and the Mask of Madness. Such a good combo with the BKB. When you pop that BKB, it's like, man, who's gonna stop you, you know? Oh, Storm Spirit, what are you doing? Why did he do that? So I think this is gonna be game here. They should be able to keep pushing in here and take down these tier 4 towers, and I think the Ancient's exposed now, right? Yeah. Start clicking the Ancient, folks. Go for it. It's right here. Click it. There we go. Yeah. Look at that. Oh, that's game. That's game. There you go, folks. So that's another win for Ben on the Hero and Item of the Week replay analysis. So good job, Ben. We're all proud of you. Good work. GG extended play. I don't know what that means. And yeah. Let's see here. Let's take a look at the stats. Yeah, look at Ben's XP gain. 527. That's pretty good. Almost as good as Sven's, though. So, yeah, I think I think with Death Prophet, the main thing you're looking for, to be honest, is XP. I think that's the biggest deal with Death Prophet. So you want to get those levels up. Make sure you're a part of team fights so you can get those levels up and use your exorcism, take down towers, and win matches. So good job, Ben. Check out the podcast at welikeDota.com. And yeah, we'll see you guys next.